So I find that there are generally two major mistakes that hold back lower league players from, getting a promotion to gold or plat, or getting to a league where they aren't considered, complete newbies to the game. And those two mistakes are macro and build orders. Now I'm gonna go over build orders in a separate video, but let's look at macro. So macro is the act of expanding, spending your money, keeping up on production, keeping up on upgrades, and all that good stuff. It's difficult to learn, but mastering it will take you further than any other skill will in SC2. Now, most of the time, a build order, most of you have a build order, means that the spending for the first 7-8 minutes at least should be fairly standard, as long as you have the build order memorized pretty well. The problem comes that after the build order is complete, many players don't know what to do if the game isn't over. They don't realize that the number one thing you have to do after a build order is completed is to spend money. When I say to spend money, I mean to spend money without queuing up units. Having 2 barracks with 5 marauders in the queue it's completely wasteful. It's 400 minerals and 100 gas that are in limbo that could be spent on so many other things instead of queued units. And one of the best ways to get out of the lower leagues is to make sure you never queue units and to keep spending your money, to keep it under a certain amount, like 1,000 minerals and 500 gas. This involves making production, making workers, making supply, making engineering, making extra engineering bays or armories for upgrades, whatever you can think of to spend your money. Now, obviously, at the beginning, you're going to be spending your money inefficiently and in ways that aren't that intelligent. But that's to be expected when you're learning. The more you play, the more you will understand when you should spend your money, how you should spend your money, and the most efficient way to spend your money. But that takes practice, and it's not something that you'll pick up as soon as you, get to a league. So, one of the best tools to helping you spend that money is in hotkeys. Hotkeys are a must if you want to improve. They allow you to make things without having to click on a building, and they let you control your units with more precision and accuracy than double-clicking or control-clicking for your army, at least. That's your micro hotkeys. So for macro hotkeys, these are production buildings, your town centers, your command center, your engineering building, etc., etc. You want to find hotkeys that are comfortable and that work for you. I personally have my command center and all upgrade buildings, including engineering bay and armory, on the 6 key. My barracks are all on 5, my factories on 4, and my starport is on 3. My army hotkeys are then used on 1, 2, tilde, front, and back, as you would know if you saw my game menu video. But it's very customizable. There's no set order. Some people will use 7, 8, 9. Some people will put all their production units, all their production buildings on one hotkey and use tab to cycle through it. You just want to find something that works, that you feel comfortable with, that you can use efficiently, because hotkeys are mandatory. If you want to get better, hotkeys are required in learning how to use them. Okay, so some tips on spending your money. So, very beginner tips that will make it easy. Always remember to spend on upgrades. Upgrades are a very important and often overlooked thing that will help you win games. They will make or break many games that you play. And a good benchmark is to have 3-3 by, say, the 20-minute mark and 1-1 started by at least the 9 or 10-minute mark. And these are assuming you're in a lower league, because you can get away with later upgrades more easily. So remember to make sure to make your upgrades and to keep an eye on them. If you have too much money and you don't know what to spend it on, check to make sure that you have upgrades in production. Expansion is a big part of macro, and I'm going to make a separate video on that, because I know that some people have a really hard time knowing when to take their third, or knowing when to expand and when to cut SCV production and all that stuff. So I'm going to be making a whole separate video on that expands on macro. But for now, using what you just learned, using what you hopefully learned, most bronze leaguers I have coached, in parentheses, I haven't really coached, I just went to Twitch chat and talked to a bunch of bronze leaguers who needed some help. I find that just telling them to spend their money and to focus on upgrades and always be spending money has gotten the vast majority of them out of bronze, because most of the time they're banking 3k minerals, 2k gas, not gateways that are just not being used, barracks that are sitting there not being used to make Marines and Marauders, and that's a travesty.
Understood.
That's just
Okay.
that's a very easy thing to